Hey everybody, this is take number 2 of my live video. I'd like to talk today about some of the healthy foods that I eat. I've had a lot of people email me, text me, say, Coach Connie, how do you eat? How do you stay so healthy? How do you stay fit? What are some of your tips? Welcome to my home. It's a humble little place. It's 800 square feet, so it's not real big, but it's just big enough. Anyway, let's get back to topic, and that's my healthy food. So I have a few notes here so I don't lose sight and forget anything really important. So I hope I give you some tips that might be new to you that will help you in your own journey of health and wellness. I believe I'm starting out with food as my first tip on the Go Live because I believe that food is really so important in nourishing all parts of our bodies, from our hair to our skin to our eyes to our organs, all of our major organs, our energy levels, and that without putting really good food past our mouth, we're going to fail miserably at having good health. So one tip I'd like to tell you right now that I do, and I didn't start doing this when I went on my healthy journey, but I'm learning to do it or have learned to do it since, that I think is really key. And that is, every time I go to put something past my mouth or to eat something, I actually think about how that is going to nourish me and give me fuel or make me feel better in some way. So, for example, I love Snicker bars, and who doesn't, right? Or Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. I love them. I love them to death. But do I want to eat one every time I go through the grocery line to check out, which I used to do? No. What I do now is I look at them and I think, how is that going to help me either in my fitness, in my energy, in my skin? Is it going to make me see better? Will I feel better? And really, after answering all those questions, by the time I check out, I haven't even had the bar because I know that there's very little in that candy bar that's going to help me. So there's Roxy, my cat in the background. So anyway, Roxy. So what I want you to think about is your own triggers that will keep you from putting unhealthy food in your mouth. And if you can think about how that food will nourish your body and what part of your body, and maybe that'll be a good way to help make sure you get the healthy food you need. Another thing I wanted to talk to you about on a tip is life can get really, really regimented or boring with that. And we find something that's really good for us and that we really like. And so what I did is I would find something I really liked and I just ate it all the time because it was habit and it was easy. Those are two trigger words for me. And as soon as I recognized it was habit and it was easy, I had to break myself from it, because what happens is you get so bored with it and it becomes so dull and boring, the food, that it can make you want to kind of slide back into eating unhealthy ways. So my tip to keep you from getting bored with your food is to stretch yourself. Do what I did. What I do is every single week, once a week, I stretch myself to try something new. And that is either a new recipe or a new healthy food in the grocery market, or just one thing new every single week. And from that, I've really learned much more about foods I would never have experienced. I studied the new food I was eating, the new food or fruit or vegetable, whatever it was that I was eating. I studied it. I looked at what part of my body it would help amplify or make better or actually enhance. And then I look for a recipe on the internet, something with 5 ingredients or less. That's my key for recipes. And then I would make a new dish. Now, a lot of the times it might be a flop, but there are those times that it becomes a dish that my husband and I have every single week. And if you know me, you know one of those dishes are my bok choy. I had never had bok choy, and I went on a period of 7 weeks in a row eating all green for dinners. And I got really bored with the greens that I was used to. So I went to the grocery store and I saw bok choy. And honestly, I had no idea what bok choy was, but I purchased it. Found a great recipe of bok choy, Bragg's aminos, and tofu. And I've never looked back. It fit my 5-ingredient or less rule, and it was easy. I could throw everything together on the stove really quickly. It was really healthy for us. And lastly, and most important, we love that dish. That bok choy dish, some of you are going to be smiling when you hear this from me, but you already know. That bok choy dish, we have at least once a week. I've turned so many people onto it. There's a little variety you can put in there with the bok choy and other things you might want to add, but it is very simple. So try one thing new a week. And if you have very busy weekdays because you're a mother, you're an executive at work, you're traveling, make that something you do on the weekend. It's lots of fun. Research the new ingredients, see how it's going to help you, and then make a new recipe with it. Trust me, it's lots of fun. It takes the monotony out of eating, and you learn a lot and get educated. Okay, another tip I have for you is, 2 words. These 2 words I use all the time with my clients and with me in my head. So there's nothing that I tell my clients that I either haven't done or that I'm not currently doing. So I'm the type of health coach or just coach that I don't tell people something unless I have an experience with it. So every single thing I do, I have an experience with that I talk about. It could be good, it could be bad, who knows, but I will let you know. And so this tip is really a 2-word tip. And these 2 words, honestly, are really, really powerful. And those 2 words are called better than. So here's what I do with these 2 words. When I have the desire to eat something very unhealthy, like let's say potato chips, which is a downfall of mine. Lay's potato chips specifically. I mean, I love Lay's potato chips, and I'm not into the putting myself in jail and I can never have a Lay's potato chip, because that's just not reality. It's not going to work for anybody. So I always think, what's better than Lay's potato chips, eating the whole bag? Because when I get Lay's potato chips, that's what I would end up doing, eating the whole bag. So what's better than eating too many Lay's potato chips would be, when I buy the big bag of Lay's potato chips, I bring them home, and I always have those tiny little snack bags on hand. In fact, I should show you some. I take that big bag and I portion control all of that bag into tiny, tiny little snack bags. And those tiny little snack bags I throw in our refrigerator in the produce drawer, as long as there's not other things in there, but usually there is. I throw them in the refrigerator somewhere to keep them fresh in the snack bags. And there's just a small portion of chips in those little snack bags, and I tell myself I can have 1 of those snack bags a day if I like. And that's better than, 2 key words, eating that whole big bag. So I use those 2 key words for lots of things. Like one of my clients tells me that they went overboard on snacks one day and they said they ate popcorn. I said, well, they ate too much popcorn, a whole big bag of popcorn. I said, let's look at it. I said, you know what? That popcorn is probably better than the big gallon of ice cream. So when you think you want to reach for something that's not so good, think about better than those 2 key words and amping it up just a bit to give yourself a little edge of making it a little healthier. Okay, so let's see. My last tip to you is going to be something I discovered that I almost think me telling you isn't going to convince you enough of this, but here it goes. What it is creating everything you make as beautiful as possible. And what I mean by that is your presentation of your healthy food. So I kind of stumbled across this in error. I had no problem eating the healthy food. I really, you know, I don't know. I just caught on to like eating fresh fruits and veggies. I mean, I loved them all. My husband, on the other hand, did not at all, at all. And I think some of you women can totally relate to me with this. So what I ended up doing, like let's say for steamed vegetables, that looked really, really boring to him, but I wanted him to get all those nutrients of the vegetables in him. What I did is I purchased really, really beautiful bowls to eat out of. And I would add, like if I had, let's say, steamed broccoli, instead of just putting green steamed broccoli in a beautiful white bowl for presentation, I might add something green around it and stick it off the side and just anything to really amp it up, or sprinkle a few sesame seeds, white toasted sesame seeds on top, amp that up. But it made it eye appealing and it looked so much better. And what I can tell you for sure is I can show you different dishes. One, they would have the same food in it, but one be very just plain and the other one be in a beautiful dish and beautified in some manner without adding extra calories. And that dish where it's more beautiful, you will definitely eat out of that one. And I guarantee you that food would taste different, because we just don't eat with our nose and smell it and our stomachs growling. Food and what we eat and how we think it tastes, it is also with the eyes. And trust me, give yourself your own experiment with your eyes and make two of the same dish, one in a bland, one presented very special in a special bowl or in some special way. And that one that's specially presented will taste a lot different. So those are my 5 tips, my 5 food tips for the day. I have many more, and I really hope you enjoyed them. Coach Connie, over and out.